Well, I think the administration is really wrapping their arms around this issue. And thanks to Secretary Duffy and, of course, President Trump for trying to find solutions. And the first is by finding those that are not here legally and deporting them back to their home country. Now, it sounds like this individual in this most recent example had used Joe Biden's app on the phone to come into the United States of America. But that doesn't mean he should be out there driving a truck with a CDL, and we see the end result of that. So again, deporting those that should not be here or those that are not here legally, that is always the first step. But then going back and scrubbing for those that already do have those types of driver's licenses and revoking their privileges.
We had Marcus Coleman on last night, and he is a truck driver himself. His daughter, Delilah, is 5 years old. She was hit in an accident by an illegal alien who had a CDL in California. She now has severe brain injury and disabilities for life as a result of that accident. And he told us that actually becoming a truck driver and getting a CDL is a very easy way for illegals to get jobs, because they just fake a social security number or documentation, and then there's not a lot of accountability, especially in places like California. So is there a way on the national level in terms of immigration enforcement to avoid that, the fraud and and on the sense of the identity theft and the fake social security numbers that are used to get these kinds of licenses?
Absolutely, and I think that's an important part, is to start with that social security number and then do the cross-referencing. Does this social security number belong to someone who is 105 years old? So there are simple ways that we can check, and part of the DOGE effort that I have had in the United States Congress is to go back and look at greater efficiencies in federal government and finding a way that we can cross-reference all of these databases that exist across all of the different agencies in our federal government. Great place to start. It will flag anything that looks unusual, and then we can go down that rabbit hole and find out who is claiming those social security
you are
numbers.
the Senate DOGE caucus chair. It's a big job. There's lots of fraud to go through. You know, the Trump administration has taken fraud up as a main issue. The president has appointed a special prosecutor to look at this. Vice President J.D. Vance is also going to lead President Trump's anti-fraud effort. How can your work on the Senate DOGE caucus help him, and where should he look first in terms of certain states? You know, Minnesota's of course been in the news a lot, but where would you advise him to look, either inside the federal government or maybe to some of the programs that are federal government tax money, but that are going to these state programs?
Well, I have 12 years, nearly 12 years of experience now in digging into fraud, waste, and abuse across the federal government. I've got a fabulous team that has helped me with this through the years. Great place to start. Just take a look at Minnesota, and we think this is just the tip of the iceberg, but study what those fraudsters did and how they circumvented certain areas of the law to scheme and scam the American people to get those taxpayer dollars. Use that as an example, and then look across other states to see if that was a template in other states. And I guarantee you're going to find fraud in those other states as well.
Well, you're leaving the Senate, and I do want to play one of your greatest hits when it comes to getting rid of fraud. This is what a campaign ad, I believe, back in the day when you were talking about hogs at the fair.
Yes. I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork.
Joni Ernst, mother, soldier, conservative.
My parents taught us to live within our means. It's time to force Washington to do the same. To cut wasteful spending, repeal Obamacare, and balance the budget. I'm Joni Ernst, and I approve this message because Washington's full of big spenders. Let's make them squeal.
So you used that ad 11 years ago running for the Senate. You were very successful in getting into office. You're now retiring. Do you have any reflections on your time in Washington in this position?
Absolutely. And I do want to say thank you so much. I've had some wonderful colleagues through the years and wonderful people in the administration. And I want to say kudos to President Trump for being really aggressive in tackling the waste and fraud across the federal government. He has been a wonderful partner in this. But reflections upon the Senate again. A lot of really wonderful people serving in Congress, trying to do right by their home states. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to serve the Iowa people.
Thank you for coming in to share your thoughts, of course, on fraud, which is very important, but your reflections on your time in the Senate as well. And I hope to see you again soon. Please come back.
Thank you. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.